I was in Switzerland. I was doing a seminar there in near Lucerne, Switzerland. It's a very, very beautiful area. I don't know what part of Switzerland is not beautiful. I mean, everywhere you go in that country is beautiful. Yeah, it's just very, very pretty country. I did a seminar, from I usually start about 10 o'clock um, in the morning, and we have a lunch break, and then we go into 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's usually 5 hours every day with breaks. Anyway, the host was a really nice lady by the name of Tanya, and Tanya and Petra was her best friend. Petra was also um, a very big help. Real nice people, yeah, Tanya and Petra. And Tanya arranged for the whole group to take a walk in the evening, yeah, to go up into the mountains and make a campfire and just sing songs, roast marshmallows, and just drink chocolate. It was really nice. That's a really cool idea. So the whole idea is that we walk there, we park someplace, and then there was some girls that had horses, and they brought the horses. So anybody who wants to, when we're done, we ride back. Yeah, and so when we were done, with singing songs, telling stories and stuff like that, and then instead of getting back in the cars, some people would drive the cars back to a certain location, and then we would walk on this road. And these girls that had horses, you could ride it. If you want to ride a horse, you can ride the horse. They're really friendly horses, and so that was really nice, yeah. But the thing, it was kind of an adventure because it's pitch black. There's no moonlight, yeah. It's pitch black, so it's really, really interesting. And at that time, I was with a woman from the Netherlands, and her name was Gerda. That's how they say it. In German, they have the same name, but German they just say Gerda. Yeah, but in Holland, it's Gerda. We were together, and we were walking, because there was something, how it is when it's completely dark. You still can see things. Yeah, you can see movement, shadows, and things like that. So you knew where the trees were. You knew where the road was. It wasn't completely pitch black, and it was dark, but there was still, you could see the outlines, and you could see the sky. You can see the stars. You can gauge where you're at and where you're going based on these things. So Gerda and I were up towards the front of the pack because everybody else was speaking Swiss German. Yeah, we didn't understand them, so we were up in front, and so we were, and we were like, "Oh shit!" I said, and then I said, Gerda said this almost the same thing, and she said, "Oh, geez, I thought that was somebody standing there." I said, "You saw it too?" And she said, "Yeah, I was right there." And I was like, "Jesus, I really thought there was somebody just standing there, and I thought I was gonna bump into them. I thought that was one of the girls that had the horses." Yeah, and I thought, I honestly thought I was gonna bump into her, so I was ready to grab her and say, "I'm sorry," to make sure she doesn't fall. When I went to grab, there was nothing there. I mean, there's just space, yeah. So there was a shadow in front of us, but nobody was there. And we were in the middle of the road, so it couldn't be a tree, yeah. So it was, and she saw it too. She saw that there was something there. And I was like, "Geez, what do you make of that?" And I said, "Did you get scared?" And she said, "No, I didn't either. I didn't. I saw it, but it didn't give me a, get the hell out of here kind of thing. I did, trying to swing at it, and there was something there, but it didn't feel threatening. Yeah. And I just thought, wow, it's really interesting. I said that I always thought if I ever saw something like this, I'd be, run screaming. Try to find two sticks to make a crucifix and start saying the Lord's Prayer. And shoot. Trying doing a seminar on Lakota spirituality, but he goes Christian when he freaks out, and that wouldn't have been too good, yeah. Oh my! Of course, there's things out there, yeah, and they're all around us. It's not. I don't know why people want to keep these things a secret because they are just there, yeah. And what are they? It just depends, yeah. Because there's people want to say, oh, it's your guardian angel, oh, it's your protective spirit, it's your spirit guide, and all these kind of things. But no, it's not. And Lakota Star Knowledge talks about in the creation story, there's this organization called Wakantanka. And today's people, today's Indians, they translate that to mean God, yeah, the Christian God. But it's not. Yeah, that's not what it means. See, the reason why is because in the early days of the reservation, we went through a Christianization process. The result of that process was that, the reason why I call it a brainwashing thing is because in the beginning of the reservation, it was like a prison. We were not allowed to leave. We were not allowed to have any kind of weapons. So, and this meant that we couldn't hunt, and we could only eat food that the government gave to us, and they didn't always give us food, so they kept us starving. And then they would, whenever they did bring us food, it was really unhealthy food, but we had no choice to eat it. And at the same time, our ceremonies were declared illegal, and our language was declared illegal too, so we couldn't do these things. So we're hit physically, and we're hit emotionally and spiritually. And those are, those are three of the four parts of the self. The fourth part is the mind. But these three things got hit really hard. And as a result, remember I said we couldn't leave the reservation in those days, so it resulted in us becoming incredibly weak-minded. At the same time, Washington, D.C. makes a federal law that splits up all reservations into small pieces of land, and every family is given a piece of land and told to be farmers. It failed horribly, because not all land is farmland. And the other thing it did is it broke up that community spirit, that community way of thinking and living, and people started to think more of their own family because that's all they saw. So they didn't see their relatives, until the priests came, and they saw this, and then they took advantage of the situation. We were in the condition to be brainwashed. We're ready for it now, because we're weak-minded. Yeah, we're deprived of healthy food. We're deprived of our spirituality and our through our ceremonies, and we're deprived of emotionally because we're not supposed to speak our languages. And so the priests learned our ways and said that they told us that our ways conflict with the Bible, so that means our ways come from the devil. And in our weak minds, we began to accept it. Then they gave us an opportunity to see one another once a week at church. So Indians looked forward to going to church. And in our weak minds, we started to accept what the priests were saying. The result is today, hardly anybody can speak their language. And what little culture they know, it's Christian influence. It's Christian tainted. So words like Wakantranka lost their meaning. Wakantranka, there's more than one, and it's not about which one is good and bad. No, not at all. They just do different things, but they're organizations. And the Christian priests changed that to mean God. So today, a lot of Lakota people will say, well, Kantanka is the creator, it's God. But it's not. This is how that happened. Yeah? That's how we lost the original definition to a lot of things. So, during the Wakantanka organization, when it was organizing, because it has a beginning. Yeah, in the beginning, there's just a few members, and then that grows to 16. The first Wakantanka, okay? Then the second Wakantanka forms, and then on and on and on and on. Okay. So during this early times, the members, they have a leader. Every group has a leader. Every Wakantanka organization has a leader. At a certain stage, the leaders told their members, now you can create special beings. And it's during that time period that these beings were created. And I think that night that Gerda and I ran into this thing, that was one of them. Yeah, because that sometimes they're just there. They don't mean anything. They're just like we do. We walk down the street because we're going from here to there. We're coming home from work. We're going to shop. We're going to the post office or whatever. Or sometimes we're just out taking a walk. These things do the same thing too. Maybe they're just out for a stroll. This thing probably saw us, and I was like, "Oh, what do I do? What do I do?" And so it probably stood still to not scare us. Do you see what I'm saying? See, this is how we look at things. Whereas other people would say, "Oh, I ran into an angel. Oh, I ran into. This means I'm supposed to be a shaman." People overdo it, yeah. But all that time is that maybe this thing was just out for a walk. So you have to look at things like that, yeah.